Hello and welcome to another Bets Unwrapped show. I'm your host, Corey Easley. You can find me on Twitter at CMoney52, joined by Alex Valdez at _Alex Valdez on Twitter. How's it going, Alex?
It's been a long day, man, but I'm looking forward to pay my mortgage for the next couple of years with the victory we're gonna pull off today.
Hey, if we keep wishing it into existence, it's bound to happen. So that being said, let's get straight into it. Week 6 already. Pretty crazy that we're at week 6 already. But we got the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars in the London Fest. I mean, the Dolphins are 3-point favorites in this game. Sounds like Tua is good to go. The total in this game is 47.5, and I kind of like the Jags. I think the Jags have a chance to win this game outright. A lot of injuries on the Dolphin side. This Jaguars team is getting better, but do you like the side or total on this game? I kind of like the total and the Jags. Well, that's kind of a bad place to be right now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of lean on Jags just because Tua is coming back, but anytime anybody's coming back from injury, especially a quarterback as inexperienced as Tua, you don't want to put money on it. So yeah, my lean would be with the Jags.
Right. So as for props in this game, didn't have tons that I was totally thrilled about. I did look at Lawrence's passing yards because I think he's been getting better. It's at 233.5, and this Dolphins defense is well and truly, I don't think, very good. So both defenses will struggle. I do like Trevor Lawrence over 233.5. I think he threw for a 274 last week in that game. And then I was waiting for Dan Arnold receiving yards. It's at 36.5. I like over 36.5. It's only $1.79 at the moment, so you're paying a little bit of juice there. So what do you like in this game?
There were two props that really stood out to me. One was the James Robinson rushing prop, and I got that one at 71.5, which I'm sure it's gone up at this point. Let's see where it's
73.
at. 73. So that's still within the range I'd still play it at. Dolphins allowed the 9th most rushing yards in the 5 weeks this season. 4 running backs have hit that total against this defense, and Robinson in the last 3 weeks has seen at least 15 carries. And then this next prop that I like is kind of inspired by just a little tidbit that Alex Propstar, shout out Propstars, on the last pod about pass completions and pass attempts. I've seen a lot of the cappers say that the lines haven't adjusted correctly yet. And Trevor Lawrence's was at 19.5, and the Dolphins have allowed a quarterback to throw at least 20 completions in 4 out of the 5 games. And I believe the one time they didn't, it was I don't have it in front of me, but and Trevor's hit that in 3 times this season, and I know Chark probably would have been a healthy boost for this one. I know, but that was also one I liked too, and between those two. But what's Trevor's completions at 20.5? All right, so I moved up.
Yeah, I moved up one. Man, I think
I like that. I like that Dan Arnold one. I think he's going to be the beneficiary of the distribution of how this offense runs. I think the tight end's going to get involved.
Man, there's some reception props here that I like as well. Like Laviska Shenault over 3.5 catches is $1.88. Dan Arnold over 3.5 is $1.98. Waddle is interesting at 4.5 catches, but he's burned me a couple times. But 2 in there kind of changes things up a little bit. So he's his total receptions at 4.5. The over is paying $1.93. So those are all very interesting. Myles Gaskin is at 3.5 as well. The over paying $2.02. So getting good value there. So we need one play for the power parlay. What do you think?
You know what? since you pulled up that line, Dan Arnold over 3.5 receptions. I mean, his second week with this team, because he got traded from the Panthers, he had 8 targets in that game. So we saw O'Shaughnessy, who's somebody like I liked his prop, but unfortunately he got hurt. The game that I bet his prop on in week 2, but Lawrence seems to have an affinity for the tight end position, probably just that safety, kind of throw it right in the middle of the field. So I think that might be the play.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. So we're going to take Dan Arnold over 3.5 receptions, and that will be our first play for the day as we move on from the London game, as we call it, to the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 10-point favorites in this game. The total is at 43.5. I think I'm leaning towards the Texans plus the 10. Davis Mills showed me a little something last week. He's actually had a really tough schedule as far as rookie quarterbacks go. Having to play against that number 1 Bills defense, top 10 pass defense in the Patriots, and I believe he had a tough matchup before that as well. So the Colts not so tough against the pass. So I kind of like the Texans in this game, and I like the over in this game as well. I think some points will be scored over 43.5 for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Texans covering. Like you said, Davis Mills went against the rookie quarterback destroyer in Bill Belichick, so and Patriots. So I think the Texans are going to make it very competitive, and the quarterbackless wonder Brandon Cooks should probably have a phenomenal game against this banged up Colts secondary. So I definitely think it's going to be closer than probably the public thinks.
Yeah, I got Brandon Cooks at over 68.5 yards receiving. I put that one out yesterday. I also have an interesting one. I don't know if I get your point. I got Mark Ingram under 41.5 rushing and receiving. That's paying $1.88. I got a few unders here this week, so it's surprising. But Mark Ingram under 41.5 rushing and receiving. The guy's only caught 2 balls this whole season, and he for 2 yards or something. So I don't understand why he got boosted. He got boosted a decent amount for the rushing and receiving as opposed to just the rushing. So he's at 33.5 for rushing, and he was at 41.5. He's down to 40.5 now for rushing and receiving. So I just think that game script last week with the Patriots run D being so terrible is the reason why he. I was on Mark Ingram last week for over yards, and that came through because I figured that they would try to, run the crap out of the ball against that Patriots defense. So this game sets up a little bit differently. Like Colts defense is stout up front. I don't think that's their issue. The issue is the secondary and pass defense. So I just don't see Mark Ingram getting a lot of carries in this game. I think he probably goes under 10 carries, and I don't think he's going to get close to 40 yards total.
Yeah, that's a great play. I'm just looking at the numbers, and I'm looking at the Colts against other running backs. I mean, you're not going to put Mark Ingram in the same conversation as Derrick Henry. Your boy Darrell Henderson, he had a 53 yards on the Colts as well, and then Carson had that 91-yard game. But yeah, I would probably go with the under with Mark Ingram. I like that one. I was almost going to say we have a slam dunk there with Brandon Cooks since we both like the matchup there. I had found Michael Pittman over 5.5 receptions. That was at plus odds paying $238 when I got it. He said that in, I believe in the last, let me see. He said that in the last 4 games, and he's had 12, 8, and 7 in targets. So I like that as a plus play. But I don't know, man. Brandon Cooks and Mark Ingram, man, your choice, man. You're 2 guys this year.
I think we go with Brandon Cooks. I think this is a perfect spot for him to bounce back. I know they're getting some guys back at receiver, but I still think he's the alpha in that situation. So we'll add Brandon Cooks to the power parlay. Probably won't be the last time he makes it into the power parlay either. Just
Definitely
FYI. So. The next game we got is the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. The Packers are 6-point favorites in this game. They dominate the Bears in this matchup, even at Soldier Field. The total is 44. This has moved up a lot. So I'm staying away from that 6, and I'm probably almost lean to the Bears plus the 6, but it's a stay away for me.
Are you a fan of Jamal Charles?
Jamal Charles, of course.
Yes. Jamal Charles is lock of the week. I saw he had a special on Pickswise.
And Jamal Charles is doing locks of the week?
Yeah. He did like a little fill-in at Pickswise, and I guess his lock of the week this week was Bears to cover. +6, I think. So,
yeah. I think I gave you the Packers, I think, early in the week for my bookie plays. I think I gave it -4.5. I got it at.
Let me see.
Double check, but
you got it at 5.5 actually.
No, well, not great. But I'd rather at 4.5. It was at 4.5 at the beginning of the week. 6 is a bit scarier in this game. I wouldn't tease it. I would just stay away if you're a little bit worried about this game. Like I said, the Packers have played very well in Soldier Field. So ever since Aaron Rodgers has been there, so it's a stay away for me. As for props, though, I got Justin Fields under 29.5 pass attempts. He hasn't come close to that. I understand they boosted it a bit for this game, considering that people think that they're going to be forced to throw a lot in this game. But yeah, I just don't see how. Yeah, they get to that number. I think he goes well under that. I think he probably throws around 23, 24, 25 times max. I don't think he's gone over 20 this year. So that being said, I don't know how you view this game, but I also had Herbert under 70.5 yards rushing. I know the Packers are a bit of a sieve as far as run defense goes, but I don't think he's just going to get the majority of the carries. I think they're going to involve Ryan Nall and whoever else they can find on their practice squad or, on the end of their running back depth there. So, what did you like in this one?
So I was on Justin Fields as well, but on the completions, it was at 17.5. But to answer your question earlier, he's only reached out twice, 20 pass attempts. And before that, it was 17 and 13. So, yeah, him passing the ball isn't going to happen quite often. And then his highest completion total was 12. And again, like you said, I think the line is set up as, maybe Nagy will finally let him air it out. But I like both the pass attempts one you mentioned and the under pass completions for Justin Fields. What do you have Aaron Jones's carries at? Because I got it at 13.5. And I want you to know, last week I got just the most brutal beat because I was watching the Packers game. I had Aaron Jones over 14.5 rush attempts and I think over 60, whatever his yard total was. The last play before they kick the field goal, Rodgers goes to hand it off to Jones, but it's a play action, and I literally lose that to the Jones and the Jones rushing and carrying prop by 1 carry.
Man, that's tough.
And that's with overtime, man.
It's currently at 14.5, but I just don't know.
You know what, taboo. I'm not touching 14.5 after last week.
Yeah, I would go under probably. I think running against this Bears defense is gonna be tough sledding. Another guy I did like is, and it's high. It's high. I'm telling you right now. It's Devante Adams, over 95.5 yards receiving, and I know that might spook a lot of people, and I understand that, but at the same time, DVOA, the Chicago Bears are 30th in the league against number 1 wide receivers. So that's not the recipe you want when you have Devante Adams coming in. So good luck to the Bears stopping him. But we do need a play for the power parlay. What do you think? Would we go the under attempts for Fields?
Let's go under attempts. Yeah, either that or the completions. I think I don't think Fields is going to have the passing day that the Lions are insinuating.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Let's go attempts because I think the recipe for this game is for the Bears to try to play keep away for as long as they can.
I hope for my seriously injured dynasty rosters that Herbert does go over 70.
I hope that he doesn't. So there you go.
All right, fine. He'll get like 1 yard under and then a touchdown.
The Kansas City Chiefs and the Washington football team. The Chiefs are 7-point favorites. This game was at 6.5. I smashed the grab those points. I just think the Chiefs destroy Washington in this game. The total's at 54.5. Washington defense is abysmal. It sounds like Tyreek Hill's going to play. I just don't see how Washington can win this game. Like their receiving core is banged up beyond belief. I like the Chiefs minus the 7 still. I would even take 7.5. Like if there's a big win prop that you have, I would do that as well. Like I love the Chiefs this week.
What's the total for that game?
54.5.
I kind of like the over in this game. Heineke has had a very I do. He's
your New Jersey lock.
Right. Let's not get too crazy. By the way, I appreciate your you should appreciate the fact that I set you up for that victory lap on my buddy dropped your lock.
Nice.
But yeah, I expect Heineke and Mclaren to just eat in this against this defense. I think the Chiefs, like you said, even though you're saying they're going to cover, I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game.
Yeah, what do you make of the Antonio Gibson stress fracture? That doesn't sound good.
Oh, God, here we go.
Oh,
man. I saw that you said that, and I have him everywhere. I have Gibson, so there's that.
Yeah,
but I'm very as somebody who has him on a few teams, I'm very concerned because like that could go bad and that could just end his season, and like your boy McKissick ends up becoming a RB2 by the end of the year. Which would be your ideal situation. But yeah, no, I'm very concerned for Gibson. I'm probably going to stay away from his props just until I hear some more encouraging reports from out of Washington.
Well, I mean, he has been playing with it for, I don't know, a couple weeks now. So, but I get it. I'm staying away from his props as well. I think it's a bit, it's tough sledding there. Daryl Williams is interesting at 48.5 yards rushing. He comes in, takes over for CH. I'm sure they'll have him and someone else running back there as well. So, but that's very interesting. His anytime touchdown prop is interesting at $2 as well. So, but the play that I had in this game is, I know everyone was expecting it. No, they weren't. It's Adam Humphries, over 34.5 yards receiving and $1.87. Coming off a pretty big game. I think he had like 73 yards, but it was mostly buoyed by one big play. I think he had 3 catches.
3 catches for 73.
Yeah. Mclaren was on the injury report all week. All the receivers are pretty banged up. So I really like Humphries over yards this week. And of course, yeah, go ahead.
No, just finish. I can have my part after.
I was just looking right now because I got that yesterday, and it's off the board right now, like for power parlay purposes. So we're gonna have to go some different direction. Just check if you have it on your book. I have his receptions. I just don't have his yards right now. So
let me see.
They pulled it down for a reason. So for some reason. So
let me see. He's still available on mine. It's at 34.5.
34.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a good play. As for the power parlay, I mean, what are we going here? Do we just take Travis Kelce and close our eyes?
No, I don't know why. I just Kelce to me this year has been so hard to like if we. I think he's maybe hit the over once or maybe twice on his receiving yards.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to get. We're gonna have to get. Oh, what about your boy Taylor Heineke?
Well, I was going to tell you.
1.5 touchdowns.
I was going to say the Chiefs have allowed at least 2 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks to opposing quarterbacks. The Chiefs are. I mean, that defense is atrocious. What's the line on that? I mean, not the line. What's it paying?
$1.71.
$1.71. What's Mahomes' rush yards at?
Oh no, we're not doing that.
No, because he's at 45, 26, and 61 in the last 3 games.
What? All right.
Yeah. I mean, believe me, when I saw that number, I was like, "There's no way." I mean,
does that have something to do with, like, if the Chiefs are crushing in this game? Like, you
don't think Chase Young and everybody's going to make him move out of the pocket, and because Mahomes will get out of there?
Doesn't he just
think so?
In that situation?
All right, you put enough doubt in my head already. What about Darrell Williams' receiving yards? Because he was already getting the receiving work with Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah. Darrell Williams' receiving yards is currently at 15.5.
Oh, I think it's even better than that's right. That's right where I got it too. I mean, I like that play as well. He was getting his rushing. I mean,
it's at 48.5.
I feel like Let me just look up real quick on the football teams. How they've been.
They are stout against the run.
They are. Okay.
But I mean, that's where they live.
Gotcha.
Their pass defense is atrocious.
You think you feel comfortable with? Oh wow, Williams is 50.5 on my book.
There you go. You get a yard and a half of value.
You know what? Every lead running back let's see. The lead running back against his defense has had at least those yards. I think the lowest they had was 56. So, you know what? Williams might be the play here.
I think Darrell Williams. We're gonna go with Darrell Williams over 48.5 yards. I think without Adam Humphries receiving yards here, and I don't think it'll be as much of a sweat. I think Darrell Williams gets 10 to 12 carries in this game, and he can muster up 50 yards in those attempts. So we'll take Daryl Williams in for the power parlay, and we're going to move on to the Minnesota Vikings and the Carolina Panthers. The Vikings were underdogs at the beginning of the week. This is totally flipped. Now they are 2.5-point favorites on the road against the Carolina Panthers. The total in this game is 45.5. Man, I like the Vikings as underdogs. I don't like them as road favorites. Like the home favorites are very interesting this week as well. The home underdogs. It's about that time of the year where they start, barking. So what do you like in this game as for props go?
For me, there wasn't a lot when I initially had looked at it. Are you familiar with Minnesota's run defense? Do you know where I'm going?
With it?
I mean, do you know if they're actually stout against the run or if they're susceptible?
They're 20th in DVOI against the run, so not great.
I mean, Hubbard rushing is tempting.
Hubbard's rushing is tempting. The Vikings have also struggled against true number one receivers as well. So I like DJ Moore in this game, bouncing back over 79.5. And Skuro giving me a shout out for my CMC takes.
Is the wizard with the fade CMC? Yes, he has. He's been fading CMC as long as we've been talking sports together. It was DJ Moore and Hubbard who I had out of this game. Everything else I was kind of a little sheepish on.
Yeah, so I also had a sneaky one. I had Sam Darnold under 11.5 yards rushing. He's only hit that mark once this year, surprisingly enough, since he leads the league in touchdowns. But so I like that one as well. It's kind of a it's a sneaky play, but I think DJ Moore.
Yeah.
DJ Moore or Chuba Hubbard's interesting. Chuba Hubbard's at 68.5 rushing yards.
I mean, I definitely think he hits over, but I also think DJ Moore is going to have his way with the secondary.
Yeah, I think it's I'm cool with adding DJ Moore to the power parlay if you are.
Let's do it.
All right, DJ Moore is in at over 79.5 yards receiving. And we're going to move on to the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 3-point favorites in this game, possibly the game of the week, especially now that the Cardinals coaches all have COVID. The Ravens and Chargers, Herbert versus Jackson. The total in this game is 51.5. And I feel like this game is really hard to cap and try to figure out who's going to win. If I had to pick a side, I'd just take the Ravens at home on the money line. But I could definitely see people teasing, giving Chargers some points in this game. 7-point tease up to 10, and being pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet this one personally either. I think, the Chargers, in past years, they definitely let games that they should win slip away. And the Ravens, Lamar Jackson's just been otherworldly. So I definitely think, the Ravens should keep it going. What did Matt say? I was swapping between screens.
Oh, he's just talking about the Steelers. Come on, Matt. You got to stay on topic, man.
We'll get there in a second. I'll tell you about the trap that I think that we're going to fall into.
So as far as props go in this game with the Ravens, I like Jackson over 234.5 yards passing. I know the Chargers are very good against the pass and not so good against the run. It's just the fact that the Chargers the Ravens do not have running backs to take advantage of that, I feel. Obviously, Lamar Jackson rushing is a different story, but I find it hard to lull Latavius Murray. I could see them going back to just a plethora of guys here. So I'm not counting on Latavius Murray to go over his total, which is at 44.5. Lamar Jackson at 67.5 is interesting, but I like his passing yards over 234.5. I think he's only had one game where he's gone under that. So double check, but I like that. I also like Keenan Allen over 6.5 receptions at $2.07. So the reason why sounds like Mike Williams is going to play. So the reason why I like Keenan Allen in this game, in this matchup, is because the Ravens love to blitz. And ideally, Herbert's been very good against the blitz still, but it's not the best situation for him. His numbers do come down, but he's still done well against the blitz. But the Ravens traditionally blitz a ton. And I expect Keenan Allen to be that, that hot route, that short, intermediate kind of guy, the check down kind of guy to get the ball out quick during those situations. So I like Keenan Allen over 6.5 receptions in this game. And that was playing plus money. It still is at $2.07.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that one, I did get the notification earlier on the pod that Mark Williams was going to play, barring a setback. I actually liked, and this one is a little out of left field because Lamar's only hit it in this past insane game where he just went nuclear. Was over 1.5 passing touchdowns. The Chargers have allowed 2 and 3 in the last 3 games. So I definitely think I agree with you with the running back situation with the Ravens. If it doesn't look like they're getting much out of their guys right now. So I do think that they will let them kind of air it out a little bit more. So I do like the passing yards. I like the passing touchdown. And I also like Jared Cook over 33.5 receiving yards. So I'm sure it'll be less on your book because it always is.
What'd you say?
Jared Cook, the over receiving yards.
Jared Cook is at 33.5.
Okay. So same as the way
12.5, our guy.
He's not. he's not on here for me on my book, but I don't know. You want to go twice? You want to put Donald Parham on the
one catch for 17 yards? Is it coming?
That was a fun one to cash. I was like, oh wow, first quarter last week. But yeah, I mean, I definitely like Jared Cook in this matchup as well.
All right. Look, Lamar Jackson's gone over 234 every single game this year so far. I just don't see how he doesn't. Now, Rashad Bateman's going to play in this game as well. I like Lamar Jackson over 234.5. He is going into the power parlay, and we'll move on from that game. We're going to Cincinnati Bengals and Detroit Lions. I actually like this game. I think I'm gonna watch this game. This is gonna be on one of my screens tonight at 1 a.m. So it'll be fun.
God bless you.
Bengals, Detroit Lions. The Bengals are 3.5-point favorites. The total is 46.5. I kind of like the Lions. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I like the Lions. I just think I would lean that way. I'm not putting any money on the Lions for obvious reasons. So, what do you like in this game?
I do like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think
let's go.
Yeah. I don't even think we got to think even more about it, but I just think his targets and the way that and again, it's just media talk, but Jared Goff said, want to get St. Brown more involved. I definitely think they're going to, especially with the way their receiving core is. They definitely need to see what they have with him and, see if he can handle the usage. And I think he's going to do just fine.
Yeah, I think Amon-Ra over 4.5 receptions is as good a play as you're going to get in this game. I also like my guy, Joe Mixon, rushing yards, which is...
Did you text him, make sure he was icing and if he was okay?
he seems okay. It's down to 69.5, which is crazy because it was 73.5 yesterday.
70 on my book.
Yeah, so 69.5 yards rushing. I think that's a smash spot for him. I was waiting for Swift receiving yards, and I still don't have it. I don't know what the deal is there. I think it's Jamal Williams thing. If he's injured, then it probably gets affected. But they do have DeAndre Swift's rushing yards, so it's a little bit weird. Not sure why that's not out yet, but I think for safety, I think we just go Amon-Ra over 4.5 catches because he's gotten 8 targets in the last 2 games. Now Quintus Cephas is out, so yeah, I don't see how he doesn't get at least 5, 6, 7, 8 catches in this game.
Yes, again, Amon-Ra is also one of those players that is starting in a few of my leagues because injuries have ravaged all fantasy teams. No man.
You're not alone in that for sure. The next game we got is the Los Angeles Rams and the New York Giants. Last of the 1:00 games, Eastern time. The Rams are 8-point favorites in this one. The total is at 49.5. This Giants defense is garbage, to say the least. Rams -8. Does that seem like the most square play of all time? It does a little bit, doesn't it?
Call me SpongeBob because I'm betting that one.
Oh man, we need like a SpongeBob sounder. If we can get copyrights for 10 seconds of that, just the beginning of the music for the ultimate square play. No, I agree with you. I think the Rams handle business here. As for my props in this game, I kind of went against the grain and kind of off the map. I got Sony Michel over 26.5 yards rushing at $1.98. I like Evan Ingram over 32.5 yards receiving, and Devonte Booker over 22.5 yards receiving. So, not your usual plays there. Devonte Booker obviously taking over for Saquon Barkley has shown some pass catching chops in his career, both with the Raiders and with the Broncos. So I could definitely see him getting 4 or 5 catches in this game, just depending on if he can make a guy miss or so. So I mean, you can get 20 yards off one screen pass. So I do like Davonte Booker's over receiving. I do think he'll get 4 or 5 targets in this game, in the pass game, especially if they're losing. As for Evan Ingram, he turned the corner a little bit last week. He's at 32.5. Like, they don't really have tons of receiving options. Looks like Sterling Shepard is going to come back as well. They got Kadarius Toney, and then they got, like, the CJ Boards of the world and Colin Johnson and guys like that. But yeah, I like those 3 plays in this game. What do you like in this one?
There's 3 plays I like, 2 that I made like plays on Twitter. 1, I got Darrell Henderson at 76.5. I believe he's at 79 or 80 on most books at this point. I think I'm finally starting to be a believer with you. I remember you were giving Henderson his credit, and it's just due prior to the season that he could perform well and produce, and I think he's definitely shown that when he's healthy. And there's another play that's almost kind of like our Donald Parhams and our Dan Arnolds and those kind of it's Deshaun Jackson over 17.5 yards receiving. And as somebody who gets the Rams games all the time living in SoCal, Matthew Stafford gives Deshaun like 2 or 3 deep shots a game. And let me see, in terms of times that he's covered, he has covered, let me see, where is the play? I had all my notes. He's covered that
3 out of 4 games.
3 out of 4. Yeah, and Stafford, like, he will take those deep shots. Like, I don't know if I'm sure everybody who's watching, you guys watched Jalen Hurts. He doesn't hesitate like Hurts to throw the ball deep. Like, Stafford literally knows, like, oh, Jackson's going deep. I love it. Go for it. Like, I've seen it, and I think he could just get that in one catch easy.
And you think that because Jackson used to torment the Giants, he's going to do it again in this game?
Oh, I didn't even think about revenge games, like, or not revenge games, but like,
yeah, when he was,
it's like, yeah, exactly. I mean, I like that play. I don't know if I'd go for it for the power parlay unless you're for it, because I made an official play just because. I mean, Stafford. Let me see. Let me just have his notes, his stats up here, because
I definitely like it. It's fun.
Yeah, because I'm just from watching the games, like Stafford. I mean, 5 targets, 3. I mean, I'm sure if you look up the average depth of target, they were all in like deep for the most part. So I like that play, and I also like Darrell Henderson. If you want to play the safe card, I definitely think he gets 85 and 90 yards in this game at least.
So you don't like Sonny Michel?
No, I'm not. I know. I went Ronald Jones on Thursday, but that's enough sweating for me on the number 2 running backs.
I will take your Darrell Henderson. Oh, you make the call. Are we going Jackson or Henderson?
You know what? What's Henderson's line at right now officially on yours?
75.5.
75.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would love to go for flash here with Deshaun Jackson, but let's just go with Henderson.
All right.
Unless you want to put them both, but we probably shouldn't do that.
No, we probably shouldn't.
Yeah,
I mean, we
just keep it one.
We can go both. You want to go both?
Let's just see where our odds are at, and if it's not where we want it, Deshaun Jackson is an automatic throw-in at that point. I just love it.
All right. The Arizona Cardinals and the Cleveland Browns. The Cardinals are getting 3.5 points on the road here. The Browns are the total in this game. Is at 48.5. Interesting game. I like the Browns. I mean, they've had double-digit leads against the Chiefs and last week as well against the Chargers. And for them to blow both those games is really tough. Man, yeah. As far as props go, though, I mean, you're staring at Kareem Hunt in kind of every prop, and you're just like, like what? Like, just because Nick Chubb's out. I mean, his rushing yards is at 87.5 now. That's way too high. His receiving yards, I believe, was at 22.5 yesterday. It's still at 22.5 now. I like his receptions. So it's at 3.5. I get it. What's his name? Daryl Hodge. We'll probably get some burn as well, and I'll have some other pass catching guys in there. But I just think that they can pretty much do, whatever they want to do on offense with Kareem Hunt in there. So they can, they can run, they can pass, they can do whatever they want. And I think he gets 4 catches in this game. But like Prop Stars told us in the past, receptions for running backs is always a bit tricky. So I understand that. As for my other props in this game, I like Rashad Higgins over 20.5. It is now boosted way up to 24.5. So it's gone up 4 yards. So I'm glad I got it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was one off the beaten track there.
I was gonna say I was actually looking at Higgins too. I got him at 22.5 as an unofficial play. Just because I think, especially with his last 2 games, 7 targets, 5 targets. I mean,
yeah,
he's
gone over. He's gone over 20. Well, he's got 24 yards
in one game. So yeah, 3 out of 4
productive game. Yeah, so 27, 24, 63, 29. Yeah, it's just that it can be dicey with him, obviously. But is Landry out?
Yeah, I still believe he's out because. Yeah, no, I think he still is out because I couldn't take him out of my IR spot yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I still don't hate that. I think Higgins will go over that. I think he gets 25, anywhere from 25 to 30 yards in this game. So,
yeah, because
don't let us down here, Alex.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. Higgins is probably the lean. I didn't have an official line. One that I did kind of like, and I just wanted to pick your brain, was Kyler Murray over 22.5 pass completions. I just have a feeling, like I don't know. I know everybody's saying that this is the game that the Cardinals could lose. And I kind of see it, even though the Browns are kind of hindered right now. I think Baker has like a torn muscle in his shoulder.
Yeah, but I think Kyler's banged up as well. He's got a shoulder issue going on as well.
Well, he has hit that in 3 out of the last 4 games. First, in the games that he missed, he had 21 and 22. And yeah, even then, I think Higgins might be the play, man. I really do, because I like that play, and there wasn't really much else. I mean, another one I looked at was AJ Green, but I don't know how we feel about that one.
Well, I mean,
there's a lot of mouths to feed in this offense, so like I could see like Christian Kirk had 1 catch for 7 yards against the Cardinals 2 weeks ago. So it's like I could see one guy having a good game just taking it away, and for all we know, it's a Rondale Moore game, and then AJ Green has 20 yards on 2 catches.
What about David Njoku, who blew up last week?
He's trying to get traded, probably. Let's see. I bet he was. I bet he was jealous that Ertz got traded to the Cardinals and not him.
Probably.
What's his total at?
22.5. He's had 76, 18, 17, and 149.
Let's see.
Like, did they find something last week with that 7 catches, 149-yard game? They're like, maybe we could use him more.
I mean, this is the same offense that is notorious for not using Odell Beckham Jr. So, let's see.
But it is their coach loves tight ends.
I know you. From a podcast that you put me on to, so that the tight end stat doesn't really matter, but it has. Tight ends haven't gone over that threshold as far as I'm seeing right now against this Browns defense.
All right, we're gonna put freaking Rashad Higgins into the power parlay. So,
I mean, listen, I don't hate that Njoku play. I don't hate that Njoku play at all. I'm still kind of on his on a support team because I liked him out of college. But I'm cool with either, to be honest. So I don't really have any gripes. I think Higgins probably will hit. If which one I'm probably more confident, I'd probably say Higgins, but I don't hate the Njoku play either.
Yeah, it's not a lot to love in this game. I just don't know. Yeah, where we go. So we'll put Higgins in. Higgins is going in. So let's pray that he gets a 5-target game and he gets, blows that out in the first catch. So
Just
Las
one
Vegas
30-yard
Raiders.
catch to start the game, please.
Right, exactly. That's all we need. Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos. The Raiders are getting 4.5 points with their drama that's going on there. The total in this game is 43.5. As for props in this game, I probably shouldn't like this prop as much as I do, but I like Josh Jacobs over 47.5 yards rushing in this game. I know the Denver Broncos defense has been pretty stout, but Josh Jacobs looked like a different running back last week. He looked a lot more spry and upbeat and like just running around like a crazy person. I really liked the way he was running it last week. And I have Tim Patrick over 50.5 yards receiving at $1.88 as well.
Yeah, the Tim Patrick play was definitely one I was looking at. There's 3 plays I have that I really like. One was Hunter Renfrow over 52.5 yards receiving. He has the volume to hit that. Henry Ruggs.
Hunter is the man.
Yeah, Hunter is the man. He's people just do not give that man credit.
They finally moved his receptions from 4.5 to 5.5.
Yeah, I saw that.
Huge plus money for over 5.5.
Another option I like was Henry Ruggs, just because I think the Broncos secondary is probably the biggest thing that they're susceptible to is speed, and I think Henry Ruggs should hit that total. He's hit that in every single game this year. And there's another one I like too. Now, question: what side do you lean on for the game? Forget the spreads. Do you think Broncos win or do you think Raiders win? So I found this stat. So we've been hearing a lot about how stout and how good this pass defense is, the secondary. The play I like is Derek Carr under 1.5 pass touchdowns. They've only allowed multiple touchdowns once, and that was to the elite Hall of Famer Ben Roethlisberger. So, and I think that was just kind of like a bang bang play because I don't know if you watched the Bronco game. There was some penalties and turnovers that kind of sunk the Broncos more than I think the Steelers won. But I like that play because it was playing plus odds.
Yeah, it's not quite there. It's minus 110, so $1.90.
Right, I got it at I got it paying 205 when I got it.
I don't hate it, just because if you look at Derek Carr's game logs against the Denver Broncos in his career, he's only averaging 1 touchdown a game. So that's out of 13 games, I believe. So he's averaging 226 yards, 1.1 touchdowns, and 0.5 interceptions versus the Broncos in his life. So that's 13 games versus the Broncos. So I don't hate that play at all. I think the Broncos will run the ball a lot in this game.
What's Javante's line at? Because for some reason, when I had seen, I think it was prop bet guy tweet out the Javante line, I never saw it once. Let me see if it's even available for me now. Javante.
Split ace. What props did I miss? Man, you missed a lot. I'll quickly recap what we have so far for our Power Parlay, but we talked about a lot of props. We got Dan Arnold over 3.5. We got Brandon Cooks over 68.5. Justin Fields under 29.5 pass attempts. Daryl Williams over 48.5 rushing yards. DJ Moore over 79.5 yards receiving. Lamar Jackson over 234.5 yards passing. Amon-Ra over 4.5 receptions. Darrell Henderson over 75.5 yards rushing. And Rashad Higgins over 24.5 yards receiving so far. And we're currently on the Broncos and the Raiders, and we're trying to figure out where we're going to go with this one.
Yeah, Javante's yards have jumped 8 yards from on my book from that initial sighting. Yeah, I don't know if I would want to bet it at that. I think he goes over that, but I just don't feel comfortable. for the power parlay. Do we just go all reliable here?
Who's that?
Hunter Renfrow?
Oh, yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no problem, man. Thanks for dropping in, Split Ace.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
think
man.
Hunter Renfrow receiving yards 50.5. I mean, he hasn't let us down yet. So we're gonna add Hunter Renfrow into the power parlay. And we'll go to the next game, which is the Dallas Cowboys versus my New England Patriots. The Cowboys are 3.5-point favorites in this game. I know what side the Sharps are on. They're on the Patriots plus the 3.5. I mean, they were on it before that. It was 4.5, I believe. So it's come down a bit. So the total in this game is 50.5. Man, this game is very interesting. Warren Sharp talked a lot about this game on his podcast, about how the New England Patriots could potentially attack this defense. This defense hasn't been as good when teams run in 12 personnel. Obviously, the Patriots went out and paid these tight ends a bunch of money to run 12 personnel. And I guess the decision is, will they actually come out with Jonnu and Hunter Henry, run a ton of play action, get those guys involved, and try to hold back this offense of the Cowboys, which is absolutely sensational. I mean, they just continue to put up points all over the place. There's no weather in this game, so Bill Belichick's not creating some kind of storm in the Boston area for this one, like the last time they played the Cowboys.
Or when they played the Ravens.
Or when they played the Ravens, or when they played the Bucks. Like, he's got some kind of storm machine around Foxborough. So
they definitely got to put Bill Belichick into American Horror Story and give us some reason why he has this power.
He's like Merlin. He just like conjures up some storms around his area.
Right.
So in this game, I mean, I love Pollard everywhere. I love his rushing yards. It's at 43.5. I still love the over. I love his receiving yards. Tony Pollard's at 13.5. The Patriots are leading the league in drop 8 coverage, which is rush 3, drop 8 into coverage. Like, that just tells me that, the Cowboys should be, hitting those underneath targets, hitting the backs and trying to make their hay that way. Obviously, they're going to run the ball because the Patriots' run defense is atrocious. So, what do you like in this game? Before you get to that, Split A says, I like Terry over 75 with that line because it's kind of sketchy. I guess you're talking about Terry McLaurin. Yeah, he is banged up, and the line's good if he's like fully healthy, but it's always like that. Oh, second quarter update. Terry McLaurin has left the game. He's questionable to return. It's the worst. Yeah, for Scary Terry, I think I hold off this week. I do like the matchup though. It's kind of hard. We talked about that earlier with Heineke and Alex's undying love for him.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, I think it is a bit sketchy, Split Ace. I would try to find something else, to be honest. So, back to you, Alex, in this Dallas Cowboys and New England game. What did you like?
I definitely like Zeke, but if we're gonna go rushing yards, I'd rather go Pollard. I definitely see him getting over 10 carries. That should make him cash this one easy. Another one I liked that was plus odds was Dalton Schultz at paying $225 for over 4.5 receptions. But I think Pollard we shouldn't even think too hard on him, man. Just put Pollard.
Reception.
Yeah, let me give you the breakdown. Yeah, Pollard rushing, I think, is probably the one we should go for. But for Schultz, he's hitting 4 or 5 games, and he's had at least 6 targets in those games, and he's had 7, 8, and 8 in the last 3. So there's no argument between Jarwin and Schultz anymore.
No, definitely, I agree with that. Hunter Henry's also I gave out. It's at 37.5. Over. I'm finally on your Henry bandwagon that you've been crushing the last couple of weeks. So that's definitely an interesting one as well.
Yeah,
So
I like Henry, but I
moving,
think Pollard.
yeah, Pollard's in. Pollard's in. I'm just saying if we'll see what the odds are like at the end of this because I'm thinking that they're not going to be as high as usual because we have one less game, two less games. So Seattle Seahawks and your Pittsburgh Steelers is now the time to revisit that question from our boy Matt Skura. Pittsburgh Steelers are 4.5-point favorites against the man, the myth, the legend, Geno Smith, and the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks defense is pretty bad, so it'll be interesting to see how Steelers attempt to attack this defense. So let's go back to Alex's question, or sorry, Matt's question.
Yes, but I mean, if we're being honest, we're not exactly facing the Seattle Seahawks. We all know. I mean, no Wilson, no Carson. Where's the terrible towel? I have a room I can now, but I don't know.
Alex, you're breaking up a little bit. We're gonna lose Alex to. You're breaking up a little bit, so I will talk until you get back. You tell me when you're back, and I'll let you know. I hear you. So for this game, the Seattle Seahawks and the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think it's going to be very interesting how Naji Harris goes in this one. His rushing prop is at 76.5 yards rushing. I mean,
SpongeBob laugh.
I was like, what the heck is that? Because I couldn't hear you, and all of a sudden I hear this weird music in the background and it's freaking SpongeBob. Is that your square play of the week? Yeah, as far as Naji Harris goes, he's at 76.5. Alex Collins at 54.5. It's kind of interesting. We got Chase Claypool at 63.5 yards receiving. Deontay Johnson at 64.5. Tyler Lockett at 57.5. DK Metcalf at 62.5. I think there's probably some value in these Seattle receivers. I just don't know where we go with it because I think obviously their numbers would be a lot different if Russell Wilson was quarterback, and that's probably rightfully so. But at the same time, 57.5 for Lockett and 62.5 for Metcalf seems super low.
I agree with you there. Sorry about the Wi-Fi issue. So let me see. Did you already say what props you like on this one, or are you just kind of going over some of the interesting ones?
Just going through them. Yeah. So did you like anything in this one? Because I haven't really done my Sunday night. I don't usually do my Sunday night stuff. I try to get through all this Sunday day stuff first. So.
Funny thing, I also have not gotten to really dig into these. There weren't as many available when I checked yesterday. All these have now populated. One that, so before I say it, when Geno Smith took over, at what point of the game was that?
Fourth quarter, wasn't it?
Fourth quarter? Okay. Never mind then, because I was looking at Gerald Everett, but I don't know if it was in the fourth quarter. I don't know exactly when.
I think there's a perfect play for us here. It's Geno Smith over 17.5 yards rushing.
You know what I thought you were gonna say?
What?
You don't know what I thought? I thought you were gonna say James Washington over 33.5.
Oh man,
the pride and joy of the Easleys.
He's not on my thing. That's why. That's the only reason why I didn't say it.
Oh, okay.
I like Geno over 17.5 yards rushing. He had 23 last week.
And that was on minimal time out there.
Yeah. So I think, he's going to be, pulling it down and, looking first read, it's not there, and then pulling down, taking off. So Matt Skura with Alex's Wi-Fi worse than the Seahawks defense.
Oh, geez. That's facts. Oh man. Yeah, honestly, I would say that's probably the play I like the most. I would say Naji, but again, I'm biased as hell. So
No, Gino's going in. I mean, we got Rashad Higgins in the power parlay. We might as well have Gino in as well.
yeah,
Yeah, you don't
shout out
love
Gino, man. That no, honestly, out of me looking at all the lines right now and just on my book right now, there wasn't anything that really caught my eye. And Geno Smith, it looks like the better of what I've seen on the line. So I don't mind that at all. If we're gonna hit the power parlay, it's on the legs of Geno.
On the legs of Gino. I think that's where you want to be, anyway. You don't want to be on the arm of Gino.
Oh, no. I thought that's what you were gonna say. I was like, all right, listen, Pittsburgh secondary is not fantastic this year, but let's not give Gino too much credit.
No, fair enough. So looking here at the Tennessee Buffalo game. This is an interesting game. Obviously, the Bills are favored in this game by 5.5 points. I saw a lot of people just grabbing that with the Bills, which is understandable. Bills on the road. It's a weird spot. They just came off a huge win. They're pretty much the class of the AFC at the moment. Coming into Tennessee, like where are we looking at here? Like this is the number one rush defense, number one pass defense that Tennessee's going up against. Are we just looking at Josh Allen and these receivers? Are we looking at Zack Moss? Like, where are you looking at?
I'm looking at Zack Moss. The Titans have allowed a runner to have over that total in three games, and in one of those, in I believe in four, and three. One game that they didn't. I'm sorry, God, it's loading funny to me. They have allowed that to every team except the Jets, which they're Michael Carter got the bulk of the carries, but he averaged under 3. And then Seattle against the Tennessee, he had 31 yards. So I would say Zack Moss. I mean, he's been getting the looks in this offense. I know he scared the crap out of anybody who had Zack Moss in week 1 when he was inactive. But he's hit that in the last 3, had at least 11 carries in the last 3. I definitely see him going over.
All right. Well, we got Emanuel Sanders at 54.5 yards receiving. I think is very interesting, to say the least. I think he's been really good on this team. He's gotten 8 targets, 6 targets, 6 targets, 6 targets, 5 targets. He's done 52, 48, 94, 74, 54. So it's right about that number. This is my only concern. As for Diggs, he's at 81.5, which seems high, but against this Titans defense, it's not that high. They are 25th in DVOA against the pass and 27th against the run. So, yeah, I do like the Zack Moss call. Do we go Zack Moss over 43.5 yards rushing?
Oh, it's 44.5 on my book. So, yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll take the value with Zack Moss in 43.5 yards rushing. And Alex, you're gonna be disappointed, man. We're not paying off the mortgage with these odds.
What's it at?
4,155.
We throwing in Deshaun?
I mean, to be honest, a $5 bet, we win $20K. It's not nothing.
Yeah, no, it's not nothing. And you know what? Let's see. Like Derrick Henry under.
But Ace likes Derrick Henry under 97.5, considering the fact the Titans' defense is bad, which is going to make the Titans pass the ball. Yeah, it's just the volumes, the pure volume. If they get behind, I definitely get that. And I looked at Derrick Henry's receiving yards, which was at 12.5, and I was just staring at it like, because he had no catches. He did the old Derrick Henry switcheroo on us last week. So he had 19 yards receiving week 1, 55, 31, 20, and then 0. He had 29 carries though. So he's gonna get carries. It's just, if they are behind, I could see them giving them a couple screen passes, letting them roll down the field. So yeah, I don't hate that. I'm worried about the volume with that play. So
do you want to talk about some options to add in there? Because I have another play from the Bills game that maybe you'd want to just hear out.
Okay. Well, all right, I'll hear it out.
All right, it is. Let me have that note up here. So it's your Dynasty QB1. It is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Under 38.5 pass attempts. The Titans, who their defense, they get thrown all over the place. They have never been thrown more than 37 times, and after that, they've never had more attempts against them. And Josh Allen has only gone over twice, and that was in that game against Washington where he threw 43 times, and the game against Pittsburgh where it was that upset where they were down, so he threw 51 times. Other than that, he's in the 33, 30, and 26 range in those victories, and I'm sure we're both expecting a Bills victory here.
Yeah, it's down to 37.5 now, which gives me some trepidation. I don't know. I don't think we can do it. Okay. I'd rather put Deshaun in.
Did you want to put Deshaun in, or just keep it pure and just one each?
No, we'll just keep it. We'll keep it. We'll keep it one prop for now, and we'll take the 20K.
You know what? Make it. Just put $10 down. I'll PayPal you right now at this second.
All right. We'll put 10 in, and we'll
to make 40K.
Just quick 40K, 20K each for the power parlay. And I
don't know how much you think I'm paying mortgage, but that'll definitely help a few months.
Yeah, definitely. So lock that in. All right. To recap, we got Dan Arnold over 3.5 receptions, Brandon Cooks over 68.5 yards, Justin Fields under 29.5 attempts, Daryl Williams over 48.5 yards, DJ Moore over 79.5 yards, Lamar Jackson over 234.5 yards, Amon-Ra St. Brown over 4.5 receptions, Darrell Henderson over 75.5 yards, Rashad Higgins over 24.5 yards, Hunter Renfrow over 50.5 yards, Tony Pollard over 43.5 yards rushing, Geno Smith over 17.5 yards rushing, and Zack Moss over 43.5 yards rushing. Once again, I thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for coming on, Alex. I really appreciate it. Everyone that stopped by, thank you. This is on Twitch. This is on YouTube, on Twitter. We'll have the pod ups shortly. Thank you. And I hope you guys all have an awesome week. And hopefully you guys make a lot of money. So that's us for tonight. You can follow Alex at _Alex Valdez on Twitter. Follow me at CMoney52. DMs are always open. If you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer, give you my opinion for whatever that's worth. And we'll see you next week.
Wait, real quick.